Hey guys, it's Cascada. Coming to you with another video. This video is going to be tips for baby witches from a beginner witch. Now I've been doing the craft for about 6 or 7 months now continually. As far as like actually being a witch and kind of having like magical mysterious stuff. I've been that way my whole life, but actually like practicing witchcraft, I'm new at. But one of my first tips for new baby witches who are just starting out is research. Watch as many videos as you can, look everything up online that you can, watch YouTube. There's so many different things at your disposal, and this is what I actually did like before I progressed more into my craft, is reading, watching YouTube videos. Like I was looking stuff up online, just watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos. You can look up everything that you can. You can go to the library and get books. There's plenty of pages online that have free materials that you can use to research more into the craft, to see if this is something that you believe that is really going to work for you. Sorry, I'm taking my glasses off because of the glare. Second one that goes along with research is books. Now, there are hundreds and thousands of books that you can go online and buy about witchcraft. Okay, but before you go and buy a whole bunch of books, go to your local library and see what you can find online first, or see if there's a local witchy group in your area where you can connect with people and see if they might have books that you want to borrow. If you have a phone or a tablet, you can go to the Google Play Store and you can get ebooks for really cheap. Because the one thing, or even thrift stores, you can go online to thriftbooks.com and get books for fairly cheap. Because the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to go online and buy all these books, like getting every book you can, like this book on Reiki, this book on crystals, this book on moon phases, just anything. Because the one thing is, you might get a book and you might not like it, or later on that might not be something that pertains to what you want to do, because not everybody has to do the same thing in their craft. But there are a few books that I can suggest if you just like want a little basic light reading, a little bit of Wicca, and that is a book series. The books, they're only about that thick. I have it over in my living room. I'm not going to go get it just because I have shown it in other videos before, but the books are about $10, and you can probably go online and get a set of them for, I don't know, a discounted price. But the thing is, then you're stuck with all these books and stuff laying around that you might not like. So just do your research, and there's literally stuff you can find online. And also, pertaining to buying stuff, starting out with your like very first items, if you have the money to blow and you can get all the nice fancy stuff from the metaphysical shops, then great, go and do that. But I would suggest, if you're brand new starting out, I would start small and cheap, because the items are just as good. There's nothing different. Like even the candles that they sell at metaphysical shops, they're blessed and anointed and things like that. you can go to different places and get the all natural soy candles, and you can anoint the candles yourself. You can go to Dollar Tree and get candles. Actually, I still have some stuff. My altar has changed, but for a while, everything, my very first altar, everything I got from Dollar Tree and Walmart, and it cost me about $35. And if you watch my very first video, some of those items are there. The things I got from Dollar Tree were, I got 4 votive candles, and they have these little glass candle holder things that look like little lanterns, and I got 4 of those in 4 different colors to represent the 4 different elements. And then I got a cheap candle I got just one of the little candles from Dollar Tree that said free spirit on it that I used for my spirit representation. I got my little plate that I can use for offerings, and my little bowl that's sitting on top. If you go back and look at my very first video, I got that at Dollar Tree, and there's black sand in there. I got that black sand from Dollar Tree. Trying to remember what else. And then I went to Walmart, and that's where I got my athame, which still is a butter knife. Because I couldn't find a letter opener, which I can deck out the butter knife. And then for my god and goddess representation, I went over to the wedding section because I had looked up and I saw the representations were gold and silver, and they had these pretty candle holders that were like $2 or $3 a piece. I forget how much they were, but they were like speckled, and one was silver and one was gold. I got those, and then I got 2 candles to put inside of that. And I got my altar cloth from there because I've shown that multiple times in different videos. Like in the witchy kit, they have 18 by 21 inch cloths for 97 cents. And they also sell packs with smaller cut pieces or the same size where you can sew something together. All you need is a needle and thread. You can get herbs from Walmart and Dollar Tree and your local grocery store for cheaper, like catnip. If you go into the pet aisle where they have the cat stuff, you can get a big thing of catnip for $3, where a little bag of it at the metaphysical store is going to be about $6 or $7, and it is organic. And also too, check out Goodwill and the Salvation Army, flea markets, yard sales, Facebook Marketplace. It's just a thing of saving money when you first start out, is because you're going to want to go out and buy everything, and you're just going to go to a metaphysical shop. So the one thing that I can tell you is, again, it goes with the books. You don't want to go buying a whole bunch of stuff from the metaphysical shop, because a month or 2 months from now, you can look at your altar and be like, I don't like any of this stuff. And also too, you can find things in nature for your altar. You can find rocks, sticks, water. You can get tap water and put it in a little jar and put that on your altar. You can get leaves. You can go buy flowers. There's just so much stuff that you can do. Like a lot of the stuff that I have gotten stuff from metaphysical shops. But some of that stuff I did get after I started going more into my craft. I am witch on a budget. Like this necklace, I did get that at a metaphysical shop. I've shown this before. It's the little Celtic horse goddess, a representation of Maka and Epona. And there are some other stuff, but a majority of my stuff I've gotten from flea markets, Goodwills, thrift stores, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. And of course there are some stuff that I've gotten from metaphysical shops. And another thing is your book of shadows, it doesn't have to be some fancy book, you know, that you get on Amazon. Because my first book of shadows was a little 5x7 journal that I got off of Amazon. I was intending on it to be my book of shadows when I bought it. I was just like, I was looking at book of shadows online and I was like, oh, I already have this. Well, I started writing in it and it was really small. So it's going to be my travel book of shadows. So I went to Walmart in the craft aisle where they have the paint, and I got this sketchbook for $9. It has 110 pages in it, which there's 110 sheets, which is 220 pages. And you can deck it out however you want. I painted this with paint pens that I got from Walmart. I got 2 colors. I think they were like $2 or $3 a piece. The lettering is all stencils. Everything else is freehand, and I did this the other night. I just put some links on there and I added the bookmark. And again, I got this stuff from Walmart. My dollar ribbon. And these books are really great, and you can get fabric, leather, and wrap it around. There's tutorials you can find online. I will actually link the tutorial for wrapping your book in fabric below. It is not hard at all. But obviously, because I wrote on this, I'm not going to do it. But I realized a couple weeks ago that this is not going to be big enough for me. So instead of going and spending $200 to get a bigger book of shadow, I spent $30 on Amazon. And I got a sketchbook that has 600 pages in it. That is like 10 inches by 14 inches for $30. And I'm going to fill that stuff up. I'm going to fill that up. And another thing is, don't worry about fucking up your book of shadows, because this is yours. You know, and I'm sure you probably look at other people's book of shadows and you're like, oh, I want to do that, or I don't want to really put anything in there because I don't have good artistic ability and I don't want to fuck it up. Okay, I used to be really good at drawing and stuff, but I haven't done it so long that I can't draw to save my life. And I don't like it, and I was the same way. But I kind of had this epiphany moment where I was like, you know what, this book is for me. I can make it however I want it to be. If you want to print something out, print something out. It's not going to make, you know, a difference in your book of shadows, because Pinterest is a great place to go and print stuff out for your book of shadows, and it's all completely free. You don't have to pay for it, because like I showed you my book of shadows before, because this one is going to be a reference book where it's just going to be quick stuff. It's not going to be really that detailed, so it's easier for me to find stuff. If I need it in a pinch, I can just look it up really quick in here. I found a PDF file with almost 70 pages with the Sabbats and the Esbats and correspondences and all this other stuff. And I got stuff on Pinterest. I will link my Pinterest board down below for my book of shadows. And just like different things. Like tonight I went to Michael's. I got some stuff. And I have written stuff in here. And it's not a race to finish your book of shadows. I mean, hell, if you want to get a 3, like if you don't want to write anything at all and you're like, my art's not that good, go get you a 3-ring binder for a couple of bucks and some page protectors and just print every fucking thing out that you can get your hands on. Just like print the shit out. Okay, it's your book of shadows. It's not anybody else's. Okay. And moving on to everybody else's. Definitely, if you, before asking, I'm going to say, people say there's no such thing as a dumb question, but you can ask all the questions you want, but sometimes before asking a question, see if you can find it on Google, and if you're confused, then go and ask somebody for clarification. But the one thing I will say is, This is your craft. It's not anybody else's. You can have somebody teach you, but do not expect to be spoon-fed answers, because like even beginner, which is like me and people that have been doing this for years, we're there to help you and we will, but we're not going to spoon feed you answers, because whatever knowledge we've had, you know, we've acquired it in our heads on our own. We've done this work ourselves, and we all have lives that are separate from the craft. So a lot of witches, unless you want to do that, and most of the times people that do that, they're going to want a lot of money, hundreds or thousands of dollars. Or if you can join a coven. But we don't have time to sit here and spoon feed you every single answer. You're going to have to do some work on your own. It's just like going to school. It's just like learning how to do your job. It's your craft. You need to learn what works for you, because what might work for somebody else might not work for you. And another thing I implore you to do is learn the difference between witchcraft and Wicca and paganism, because they're different. They're used together, but they are different. Witchcraft is a craft. Wicca is a religion. Paganism is religions. Paganism is a religion that is anything that is not one of the typical Abrahamic religions, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So like Hinduism, that's paganism. So you can be a pagan and not do witchcraft, or be a Wicca, or be a Wiccan. Now you can be a Wiccan pagan and not practice witchcraft. You can be a Christian and you can practice witchcraft. Because witchcraft is a craft. It's, doing the things like casting spells, doing the rituals, but it's what you put into it. So say if you're a Christian witch, you would use Christian deities like Jesus and God, the Virgin Mary. And pagans who practice witchcraft, they might use Neptune or Persephone or Isis or Horus for their god and goddess representations. And then you have some people who only work with one pantheon. And Wicca is a religion. So which might be confusing, because Wicca is a religion because they have their own separate belief system and their own text and everything like that. So just kind of research that kind of stuff. And also too with YouTube channels, I'm going to link some down below for this. And I just want to show you really quickly what I'm talking about with your book of shadows. I have stuff in here that is handwritten. I have stuff that is printed out. So I will show you what I have. Okay. Sorry, the rabbits. Okay, so here I wrote out the Wiccan Read. I am not a Wiccan, but I do like the Wiccan Read and some of the things in it. And then I just have some stickers. I wrote down different moon phases and different spell correspondences. Over here, I do work with fairies. So this is my first fairy spell that I wrote. And I have some sigils, and I have a rune, and then I just drew a rose and some plants, because to me that helps symbolize the fairy. And then I have a fairy here. Over here I have just a little saying about making sure that you're grounded and clear. And then I have my different zodiacs from different eras. I have the symbol of Neptune because he is my patron god. And then I drew the different symbols for all the zodiac signs. And over here, just some quick things. I have different herbs. what they're used for. Different things, some stones, trees. I left room here to draw, fill stuff in. Flipping over, I have my different spirit animals. Again, I left room for drawing, stamps. And then over here is where I started gluing stuff in. So I have written here the recipe for 4 Thieves vinegar, and I actually got a magazine and I clipped these things out of a magazine. They are different vinegar tonics. Over here I have different hydrosol recipes. Right here I have a recipe for Love in a Mist potion. And then over here I have how to make dream pillows. And then here I just like this picture, so I clipped it in just for aesthetic. And then I've shown these before, but I will show it again in case people have not watched my videos and this is your first time tuning in. I printed this out. It talks about familiars, the wheel of the year, I just need to adjust myself. Okay. Just so this way I can see what I'm looking at. And some of my pages are kind of sticking together. I don't know if you know. And all this stuff I printed out. Like the little frame, I got that off of Pinterest. And everything that is written like this on this yellowish paper is from a PDF that I got. So I have the Sabbats and the Esbits, and it starts with Solon and it ends with Mabon. And again, I got that from Pinterest. And all of this stuff, I did not pay a dime for, except for the printer paper. Little witch. And again, that I got off of Pinterest. And these are just some of the correspondences. My page is just sticking together a little bit. Okay, again, this is just correspondences. Actually, I'm going to see if I can turn the camera around, because it's hard to set my book up and know what I'm looking at. Give me 1 second. Alright, there we go. That's easier. Okay. So, let me just kind of skip back to where I was. Alright, so see correspondences. And this is easy for me because it's all in alphabetical order. Again, sorry about my hands. My eczema is acting up. I mean, these I got in Pinterest, which if you look at my Pinterest page that I'm going to link below, you will see this on my Book of Shadows board. And see, I'm always changing because these pages are a little bit smaller than the 8.5 by 11. The book is that size, but these are smaller, so these pages would have been sticking out, and I cut them out. It actually took me longer to cut all of this stuff out than it did for me to put these pages in here. See, again, that's another thing that I got. I don't know why that's sticking. Okay. Again, I found this in a Google image search. Same with this. All of this, I typed it up in Word on my phone, and I printed it out. And again, this, This is on my Pinterest page. I did not type this, but again, most of the time when people post spells online, they have found that it works for them. And again, I got all this stuff online, and I got tired of cutting everything out. So some of these pages, I just glued them in, and even though they stick out, I don't know, I kind of like it. Here I have the Theban alphabet, which in my other book, I am going to handwrite it in, just because I want that one to be a little bit more neater. I need some glue there. Just do a little bit. There we go. And again, so your Book of Shadows doesn't have to be really fancy. A little spell to see the unseen. And again, some of the stuff I kind of cut around it just because I didn't want all the pages to be sticking out like that. Protection amulet. A smudging prayer. Flip it over. Just different waters. This is my astrological sign, and these are just some of the qualities. I liked it, so I put it in. And then this, I just Googled an old map, and I kind of put it in here. But I just use regular Elmer's glue to glue it in. It kind of wrinkles the paper, and it does take a little bit to dry, but I like how it makes the pages look. Okay, and then here we go. Here's some stuff that I handwrote. This is just some cardstock that I glued in. I have my blessing for circle casting that I wrote myself, and how to do it. So lighting the candles on the altar and have incense burning while saying this, and then once you're done, what to do. And then over here, I have my little thing. I found this online. I did not come up with this myself, unlike this. And then I just wrote some offerings. And that's it. I still have all of this to fill, which I am going to fill it but I ran out of ink because I have some other things that I want to put in. And I'm going to show you some other stuff that I have from my Book of Shadows, which is also plays into the crafty stuff, because essentially your Book of Shadows is like one big scrapbook. Okay, I have this different cardstock that I got from Walmart for $5. I have more patterns here. I think this one was like 10 or 12. I got these for my book. I have this card, which I am going to cut the front off of, and I'm going to do a wedding dedication page. And this is the cardstock that I got from Michael's. So let me just show you some things that I have printed out that I'm going to put in this Book of Shadows. Oh, and I also got these at Walmart too. And again, all this stuff was free. And I'm not going to spend, I mean, obviously with pen or ink that can get expensive, but I'm not going to go and spend all this money for my book. And once I flip through this stuff, I will show you my book. Okay, so I have this smudging prayer that I printed out. It's the same one that's in the other book, except I printed it on the cardstock because it looks a little neater. And I went over the words with a Sharpie, and I kind of enhanced the lines on it a little bit with the Sharpie, so it's easier to read. I have my Wheel of the Year. And I'll show you the picture. So my title page, I'm going to take and cut pieces of this, and I have another one that I'm going to do. I have this. Again, all this stuff I found online, printed it out. I have this, and these are those little tags that I told you I found on Pinterest. My page about summoning familiars. Again, I found this on Pinterest. And I'm also going to go on my old DeviantArt account, and I am going to print out some of my old art that I have done when I was in high school. And I got this for my ancestors page. It is another card. Okay, so this is my book. And as you can see, it's fairly thick. And again, I got this card. It was like $2. I'm going to cut these out because this is going to be in my title page. And I'm going to write a book blessing under it. Yeah, so this is the book. And I have some other stuff printed out for this. Oh, and then I have this that is going to go in here. I printed this. I found this online. I printed it out and I colored it in myself. I have a little saying down here I came up with. It says, "Be your true self, because only you know who you truly are." Because only you know who... Yeah, I need to go in there and write you. And then this was kind of a meditation thing. I picked up a random pencil and I was like, I'm just going to draw with my eyes closed and just let my hand do its thing. And that's what it came up with. It looks kind of like a squiggly goddess. So, again, witchcraft, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but, and another thing is, don't think that just because you're a witch now that you have to completely change your whole lifestyle and go with this witchy aesthetic. Like, you only have to watch witchy shows, you have to dress witchy, you have to do that. You don't have to do that. Like with me, yeah, I do watch witchy shows, but I've always been into those types of shows. I love supernatural. I grew up loving practical magic, the craft, all of that. But you don't have to change who you are just to be a witch. You know, you don't have to dress witch, you don't have to do this or that. Just do what feels natural to you. Just be yourself, because your craft is a reflection of who you are. Because like with me, that's why I've picked out some of the colors I have for the papers. Like, I do have a little goth deep down inside of me, mixed with a little girly girl country, but I just put things in here that speak to me and say who I am. Like my brightly colored cardstock paper that I got that I'm gonna put in here, and things that I'm drawn to. Like, I don't do necromancy, and like I don't hex people. I'm not saying that I wouldn't if I didn't have to, because I do have ingredients for that. Rose thorns, great things to have. Yeah, but you don't have to change yourself. So my takeaways for this: research. Don't spend a lot of money when you're starting out. Put in the work yourself. Make the craft your own. And don't let anybody tell you what you should be doing with your practice. If you want to use a green candle for a love spell, use a green candle for a love spell, because that color green might mean that to you. So, but this is just my advice for all you brand new, wet behind the ear baby witches, from a beginner witch who has started her secure footing in her craft and is still working. And even there's people who are more experienced than me, you know, crones, that are still learning. You learn every day. But much love. I hope you found this useful. I will link my Pinterest page below, a couple of YouTube channels, and the link where I got my book. They don't have any in stock, but if you add it to your wish list or your cart, I believe you will get a notification from Amazon on when it will be put back in stock. Much love. Remember to like and subscribe and share my page. Much love to my moon boos.